are here with the University of New Haven's JV League of Legends team in their second playoff game of NACE. Um, so we're jumping right into it with draft. Actually, we get to see it. Um, so at the top, Southern Alberta band Briar, Yone, and I think that's Pantheon. Targeting top lane, Victory. Those are three of his main champs that he does play. UNH bans Leona, Nautilus, and it's hard to tell who that middle one is. Probably targeting the enemy's supports, which is odd. Well, it's not odd, but if you're gonna lock in Janna, um, you would want to target ban like those poke supports. So unless if Southern Alberta's bot lane really heavily relies on engage, then the bans. They ban the Hui, and I believe that's a Zyra ban. So we'll see. So far, UNH comp is looking very, very good. Really heavy with the team fight. Does have some pick potential with like Sejuani and Vel'Koz. But Southern Alberta as well has a beefy front line. Like you see the Dr. Mundo, this Xin Zhao, Anivia for mid lane. It could be Anivia support actually. Like we don't really know just yet. They're onto phase 2 ban, so it was a Zyra Jace ban, and then UNH banned Aurora Hui, two really strong bans. Southern Alberta lock in Misfortune Nami. Does have some synergy with both ults. You have that Nami wave into the bubble, and then Mef ult just lays down right on top. So it's a very strong early game bot lane for Southern Alberta. Um, UNH has to be careful as they can just take the game away. Jinx, Janna really just wants to scale, like sit back, scale, get some picks. But they can't be too passive, right? Um, because Jinx, yes, if she's farming, she's good, but you really need like those couple of early kills to snowball the lead even further. Without that, you're kind of just like hitting everyone with a water gun. Um, but looking at jungle, Xin Zhao Sejuani, Xin Zhao, I think it is Xin Zhao favored at least in the beginning, just because he has that like self-sustain aspect and he has some pretty good damage. Sejuani will mainly play like an enabler role in this game, being that like secondary frontline, secondary engage, or even the primary engage for the Ornn, as well as the Vel'Koz. Like Sejuani ult really, really good at just picking out someone. So we'll have to see how Saturn plays through this game. I believe we only have the one POV tonight, so unfortunate. Um, but it's good that's the jungler because we can get to see the whole map. Mid lane, Vel'Koz into Anivia. Uh, it's kind of just I believe it is Vel'Koz favored at least in the beginning. Anivia just really doesn't do much early. She's kind of like a hit level 11 champ and then just see what happens. Xin Zhao spotted out by Sejuani early game. Looks like Xin Zhao was trying to get like an early ward onto the blue, um, or just like himself be a ward to see where Sejuani is starting. So Southern Alberta does know where Saturn is starting, so they can do something with this, right? They can play aggro in bot lane. Um, they can either match the Sejuani because Sejuani will clear top to bot, uh, or they could do like a reverse where like Xin Zhao is now at his blue somehow, and then clears towards top to gank top. So we'll see like how it progresses. Early game for all the lanes. The most action is probably going to be in mid lane or even bot. Top lane for the most part is like a wet noodle fight. I mean, it's Mundo versus Ornn. Like they both do incredible amounts of damage. Um, but eh, you're watching two tanks slap each other. Um, Vel'Koz picks up some damage onto the Anivia. Now, for those unaware, Anivia does have that revive passive. Like she gets after losing her health, she becomes an egg. And it takes up like 6 seconds, I think, for her to revive. So there really isn't too much like early playmaking pressure in mid lane. And like you can try and pop the egg. Um, you can even like try to go for the kill. Like the egg cooldown is like I believe it's quite lengthy. I want to say like 3 to 4 minutes. I could be wrong. Like it's been a while. Um, but even popping it early is really good because then Anivia doesn't have that egg for team fights, objectives, even in just laning. Like having that egg ready is just a good protection to have. Like you feel peace of mind. But Sejuani's clearing. She cleared top, clears now clearing full clearing bot. Jinx Janna took a little bit of a trade, not so much favored towards UNH. Jinx already out of mana. Um, and about like a quarter health. Quite a precarious situation. Sejuani is here. We'll see if they'll try and do anything. Um, Southern Alberta, Zinzal did pick up bot scuttle, so we can almost assume that he's headed towards top scuttle or he is still in the area. We'll see what Saturn's just decide to recall here. Unless if they had vision, they don't know that he's recalling here. Zinzal is spotted bot side on the ward. So Zinzal did start red and then matched the Sejuani clear. So see, Jinx is precariously close. She has to almost like sack the wave and just recall. Zinzao spotted mid, getting Vel'Koz. Vel'Koz forced to flash, and Navia misses the glacier, not really getting the stun. Throws up the wall for kind of like zoning. Um, Saturn now hitting Gromp. We'll see what like if he goes from Gromp to Scuttle, or if Zinzao is on Scuttle. Um, did take double Scud. Sejuani jumps over the wall looking to fight the Zinzao. Zinzao might have like a higher damage, but Sejuani has like her combo based damage goes. Zinzao jumps on the Ornn, Ornn goes unstoppable, picks up the first blood onto the Zinzao, flashes over the wall, stun onto the Mundo. Vel'Koz hitting the combo. Geometry is paying off. Mundo is not done yet. Sejuani is slowed. Anivia trying to pick up anything, doesn't. So New Haven takes first blood. Unfortunately, they did lose double scuttle. It does hurt a little bit in the beginning, but it's almost negligible in the grand scheme of things. Um, but yeah, first blood over to Ornn, and a death on Zinzao. That does stop his momentum a little bit. Jinx having a double stacked wave. To really make use of that wave, she has to push under tower. Um, right now, it's like stopped in front of their tower, so MF can farm it safely. That Janna really needed to move down with the Jinx, and then both pressure that wave, really push it under tower. First Drake is on the Rift. It is a Cloud Drake. Not the top priority for both teams. Like it does help. It does do stuff. Zinzao spotted out mid. Vel'Koz now walking down into near bot side river. Makes a little U-turn and stays in lane. Jinx super low. She needs to back off and recall. Janna does shield. Janna steps forward a little bit, charges the wave or charges the tornado. Looks like to get a little bit of push back onto the wave. It's not going to do much. Just Janna base multipliers and base damage is very low, or it's like mediumly high. It's decent, but her scalings are god awful. um, they really didn't want that champ to become like a poke mage. Looks like Mundo is pushing Ornn under tower. Mundo has a stacked wave. It looks like it slow pushing. He's, I want to say, close to full health. Orn is just a little bit under like a half health, almost like a third. So he has to be careful. Like Mundo can't really. I mean, he can. He has ultimate. His ultimate gives him that huge health boost and then health regen. Orn does have ult, but Mundo has passive. So like it's almost like a checkmate type situation, where Mundo can risk going underneath, but like under tower, but Ornn has the capabilities to stop it. Looks like Sejuani is gonna go for a gank. Ornn ultimate uh, misses. Sejuani doesn't ult yet. Mundo is taking Pops the ultimate. Passive no longer there. Really good stun. Sejuani, the ultimate pops the passive. Unfortunately, UNH is unable to finish the kill. Really good plays, just holding off on some key abilities a little bit. Mundo ultimate didn't help the situation, right? He was healing through all of that damage. And Ornn ultimate, we won't talk about that one. Hey, everyone gets one, right? The Ornn ultimate whiffing to start the engage is a little, it hurts to see, right? Um, let's hope that doesn't carry through the game. But so far, UNH are they're on their way. Like they got that first blood, now they're just scaling, right? They're getting items and gold onto Sejuani, Ornn. Vel'Koz is scaling. No one's dying. That's a big thing. Like, yes, you're not getting kills, but you're also not dying, which gives gills gold and XP to Southern Alberta. Grubs are up. We'll see who responds to the objective. Looks like Sejuani is pinging it. So Sejuani is headed towards Grubs. Vel'Koz has to push Wave out. He can't really follow. Ornn is in the middle of a skirmish. Can't really follow. Janna went back to bot. So it looks like the Grubs are going to go over to southern Alberta. Vel'Koz is pinging. Sejuani does manage to steal the first Grub away. Vel'Koz whiffs some of the skill shots. Does hit the thing. Vel'Koz ultimate. Chunking out this Anivia. Sejuani not killing the Vel'Koz at all. Going to the Anivia. Xin Zhao is on top of Vel'Koz. Really good pushback with the Vel'Koz W. Um, Xin Zhao forced to flash out. Anivia hits the double stun with the Glacier. She does have eggs still, but they have to be careful. They're both 1 HP. Vel'Koz picks up a nice kill onto the Xin Zhao. If I were them, I would just back out here. Like, you got the jungler, you got one Rift, just Grub. There's still two more there. Sejuani pops the honey fruit, gets healed. You can just instantly do these, right? Vel'Koz or Xin Zhao just came off of respawn timer, so he's probably just about entering the jungle right now. Um, yes, he's running his way there, but he has no flash. He has no nothing. So UNH will just pick up all three grubs. A really good call and answer from UNH, right? It looked a little sketchy there because you had the Anivia and the Xin Zhao on grubs. Sejuani was alone. Vel'Koz then pings and like responds to Sejuani, and then like they pick up a kill. They pop a Anivia egg. They can even look into a gank, but I believe it's warded. Um, Sejuani clears the vision, and we'll see what happens from now. Crossing over mid, so now Southern Alberta does know where Sejuani is. I believe they also saw that charge onto the chickens. So far, really good playmaking from UNH. Like Saturn on the Sejuani is really setting up his team for success. Um, Janna forced a monsoon. Might tick away, just barely gets out on like I want to say that's like 12 HP. Um, we don't know if MF ulted or anything like that, so she has to be careful. Janna is now recalling. Jinx has to be careful as well, right? 1v2 into an MF Nami is not fun. It can be scary under tower, especially. Don't know who has ults. Flame Chompers do snare both of them, get some extra damage, and not allow them to auto the turret. Um, it does something. It's not like the most damaging ability or anything like that, but it's a good zoning tool. Um, so we'll see. Jinx takes her recall right now. Really good like save. Like no one overstayed. It was a little scary there. but everyone's taking their recalls. Xin Zhao spotted in mid lane onto the Vel'Koz. Um, Anivia is not around, so there's no threat of like a 2v1. However, Xin Zhao does have like a dash, so he can gap close onto Vel'Koz. But as long as Vel'Koz holds his, I believe it's his E, his little circle, um, that does launch enemies and away from him. So as long as he holds on to that, he should be safe from a Xin Zhao engage. Um, Janna Reo does with. As Dragon is spawning, the second Dragon has hit the Rift. It is Infernal, a much stronger one. Nami bubble misses, gets rooted by the Jinx W. Nami forced to flash out. Ultimate onto the Nami, the Sejuani. Gets the stun. Xin Zhao is right there. It has to be careful. MF ult, they're just standing right in the middle of it. Jinx flashes forward, manages to pick up a kill on the Nami. Um, it is a 2-for-1. Uh, eh, Not ideal in the scenario, right? Like you use Sejuani ult, you use Jinx flash and stuff. You didn't have, and you also used Jenna ult, so you used 3 ultimates and a flash for 1 kill. Yes, Nami did use ult, flash, and I believe heal, but you have the support, right? You're not getting the jungler or the ADC. Now, Sejuani has to be careful here. There's no backup. I mean, Vel'Koz is chunking damage, does ultimate with the power of geometry, pops the egg, but he has to be careful, right? Like you're both half health into a Sejuani with MF. You don't know where the MF is. Like she did use ult, and she was like 2/3 health. But she still does a lot of damage, right? Her passive uh, does that extra love tap. So as Janna and Jinx are back on the field, Vel'Koz has to be careful. Getting ganked by the Xin Zhao and Nami is in mid lane. Okay, so the fish is just wandering at this point. Uh, Tornado doesn't really land on anyone, but Vel'Koz does have that extra security with the Janna here. It looks like they lane swapped. Yeah, Southern Alberta lane swapped. Um, that should just leave Jinx to push bot. And if he doesn't have TP, that could just be a plate or two onto the Jinx, the solo gold. So they should take full opportunity of that, and it looks like they are. Lane swapping before first tower falls is like it's not unheard of, right? Um, Maybe it's to put MF and Nami in like a more ideal scenario for Rift Herald, because Rift Herald is spawning in like 15 seconds. So maybe Southern Alberta really wants to make a play for it and really crack down on mid turret and mid lane. Xin Zhao is spotted in topside river. Um, we don't know if he got Scuttler yet. Looks like Sejuani's on her way there. Pops the sweeper, doesn't really see anything. Um, Decides to beat up the local frog. Quite unfortunate. Gromp didn't really do anything. He's just chilling there. Um, as we'll see. I do like the itemization on Sejuani. Like Sunfire Cape is a good start. You have a lot of heavy AD. You have Mundo, MF, and Xin Zhao. As well as the Merc Treads, right? You have a lot of CC and slows from the Nami, Mundo, Xin Zhao, and Anivia. So like you're they're itemizing for the right people. Like if you could go like plated steel caps here, I'd be hard pressed uh to be like, yeah, you should go for it. Sejuani looks like for a really good flank angle. Um, Land jumps onto the Nami. Vel'Koz uses geometry and Sejuani picks up the kill onto Nami. Really, really good call from Sejuani and UNH. Like that was a really good coordinated strike. Xin Zhao is spotted in mid lane. Sejuani has to be careful, right? Xin Zhao can be here. Vel'Koz jumps on the. Sorry, Xin Zhao jumps on the Vel'Koz. It'd be quite quite hilarious if Vel'Koz just has a dash now. Um, MF is just pushing mid, so it's only Xin Zhao and Mundo. Mundo came from top lane, so they can turn, like they can burn this if they wanted to. Sejuani still has ultimate, So Ornn, I believe, still has ultimate as well. MF is finally making her way to topside for this Rift Herald. Nami is here as well. So they kind of waited. They kind of like threw their opportunity to do um, what they wanted. Sejuani does flash out, does hit the ult. Ornn, they're like beating up this MF. Unfortunately, it's not enough as Zinzao picks up a double kill onto the Ornn and the Sejuani. So Rift Herald will go over to southern Alberta. A little a little unfortunate, right? Because this whole entire situation could have been avoided. You had that timer, like you have to commit to something. You can't just like dilly dally in river. Rift Herald was up. You had MF just pushing in mid lane with. I mean, she's not going to be there. She wasn't going to be there. You had Ornn taking care of Mundo and top side. So your really only threat was Xin Zhao. So you could either two options. You could like hit Rift Herald and try and like burst it. I mean, you do have Vel'Koz there. Or you just like hit Rift Herald and then you turn when someone approaches. In that instance, you have to like use your ultimates early. The Ornn ultimate, I don't know if he had it. I do believe he did have it. Vel'Koz, I don't think had his ult. So it was a little messy, right? And while we were rambling, Jenna does fall in the bot lane to Anivia. Um, the fact that they haven't like UNH hasn't responded to the role swap is oh, like it's not bad or anything, but having Jinx into Anivia is like that's a little you don't really want that. Because just then Jinx was forced to flash out with the Anivia wall. Vel'Koz is in mid lane, yes, but like he's more susceptible to ganks. I mean, he casts a shutdown onto the MF. Really good play as Southern Alberta summons Rift Herald into mid lane. It doesn't look like anyone's riding it, so it won't kill the tower. At least I don't think it will. Janna, oh, it does kill the tower. I was wrong. Janna does get caught out by Zenzel. I mean, Zenzel is into Janna Jinx. Nami and MF are here, but so is Sejuani. Anivia is here though. So as Sejuani starts the fight, goes in, Zenzel immediately pops ultimate, ignoring some of that damage. Anivia gets a stun onto the Janna as well as a glacial chunk for double damage and does fall. Sejuani trying to make her way out. Can she dash? She does dash over the wall. Jinx trying to poke with a W. Dragon is up. This is the third Drake of the game. As Anivia gets a double stun onto the Jinx, and Sejuani gets the wall. Jinx has no mana. Like they should just kind of ignore this. They don't need to be here for this. It's not soul points, none, not nothing. You're just like wasting time almost. And like you're gonna die here. So Jinx just stands there. They know that it's warded, because they just cleared vision, and so there's no real point to just standing there. You have people that can go over the wall. You have people who have vision of you. Um, so it's like, in that instance, you'd much rather like Sejuani go clear camps. You could attempt to steal. It's like not recommended because then you're throwing like why coin flip. Um, and then Jinx could just went bot and pushed out bot. You had a Nivea, MF, Nami, and Zinzao on Drake. Yes, it would be a little dangerous, but like push out a wave and a half, and then just recall. Like you have no mana, you have half health. You're not doing anything at Baron or Dragon Pit. So it's plays like that where like yes, UNH has a they have a strong like foundation for this game right now. But little plays like that can break that foundation um, and cause uh, like it can cause some unhappy, unsavory things. Anivia does pick up a kill onto the Vel'Koz in bot lane. Not ideal. Sejuani spots out the Nami and the Zinzao with the enhanced Scuttle Crab. Mundo has just been barreling down topside. There really hasn't been much um, interest or play towards topside this game. Uh, like you can see why. Like I mean, it's two tanks. There's not really much going on. It's not like you have your carry in top lane. As Southern Alberta now has four topside, or four mid rather. the Anivia recalled. Don't know if she has TP. She could just be walking through bot lane, or she could be here mid. So Baron is up. It's a little it's a little early to like make a full team play towards Baron. Like I don't think either team really has the resources to do it right now. Um, but again, we're just in this like position where Jinx is just standing in a bush. Janna's just standing in the bush. Like you have mid lane pushing into you. You're missing gold. You're missing EXP. It's plays like this where you're just letting your lead become smaller and smaller until unfortunately the enemy has the lead. So like I see what UNH is trying to do, um, but like right place, wrong time, or wrong whatever it is. Zinzao does pick up the chickens from Sejuani. Sejuani trying to uh, like get some farm up. She is 2 items with completed boots. She's level 12. I don't remember what level Zinzao was. I think he's usually around the same level. Looks like they're going to go for a gank onto the Anivia. Anivia tries to get the stun onto Vel'Koz. It does miss. And the wall comes up, gets its stun as well as the Vel'Koz passive. Anivia flashes over the wall, but now she has no flash. Um, and so hopefully this could end really good for UNH as Nami does show up. She hits the wave as it looks like Anivia and Nami will just get out. Um, so what they could have like done, or uh, they could have called Jinx and Janna bot side, right? You just have the MF pushing. You have like a wave, like the waves were even. Um, and like your tower is in no threat of dying here. So you could do like a 4-person collapse onto the Nivea because the Nivea has a shutdown at this point. She's 3-0 with a 350 gold shutdown. So if that gold like ends up on either carry of Vel'Koz or Jinx, um, it's worth it, right? Baron is still up. Uh, fourth Drake of the game is in 50 seconds. Uh, I don't remember if UNH has a Drake or not. I think they may not. So in that case, it would be soul point for Southern Alberta. It looks like they're gonna look for something Mundo. Ornn ultimate does hit the Mundo. It does proc his passive. Mundo flashes it. Um, Sejuani ultimate does go wide. Mundo does proc ultimate, gives him move speed as well as ghost and healing. So there really isn't much you can do here. Like unless if Mundo is like half health or like a third health, then yes, I would go for it. But a full health Mundo not is not going to die in that scenario. Um, so a valiant attempt by UNH to try and get a pick somewhere because Mundo does have a shutdown. Um, but like it's the resources spent in the wrong place. Vel'Koz does pick up a turret in bot side tier 1 turret. Does have bounty gold, so it is a good pickup. As it looks like Dragon is underway. Southern Alberta has 5 people here. Vel'Koz commits the TP to this. The Anivia wall as well as the wave. Um, Nami falls. Vel'Koz ultimate does a lot of damage there because it does do true damage. Unfortunately though, like MF is still alive in the backline. Sejuani can't do enough solo tanking. Ornn was a little late on the rotation, and he didn't have R. Right? They committed the Ornn R to top side onto that Mundo, so there's no ultimate for this fight. Um, a little unfortunate, like as and that is okay. So that is soul point for Southern Alberta. Southern Alberta picks up Hextech Soul. For those unfamiliar, um, it like does a little lightning charge that does true damage and slows. I think it's like every 5 seconds on your next auto or spell attack. But the slow is pretty lethal. Like it's a very good soul to have, especially in Southern Alberta's position, because they are like it's a win more type soul. Um, the only other objective up currently, at least for jungle, is Baron. So we'll see if they try to make a play for that. Anivia is bot side, Nami is top side. We don't know where the rest of southern Alberta is. We can assume they're like near Baron Pit area, like near topside red. Mundo does spot in mid, um, but southern Alberta's tier 1 mid is just hanging on. I believe this is like a 30-minute game at this point. So that tier 1 is like bound to fall. Once that falls, it really opens up the map for UNH. Jana spotted out by the Zinzao. It looks like Southern Alberta has 5 members here, so it is a 4v5. They have to be careful. Like Vel'Koz doesn't have TP, he used it for the Dragon Pit fight. Sejuani does dash in, does miss, unfortunately. Gets a little bit of poke damage onto the MF, but Nami will heal that right back. Mundo Q with the Hex Tech Soul does a really good chunk onto the Janna. Um, Mundo Q does damage based on max health, so like it does more damage to you based on like how full your health is. Um, Anivia is bot, so it's not a 4v5, it is a 4v4. Janna and Sejuani are just like they're playing this corner. I, I don't think you need to play at this corner. Like there's nothing really here unless they're trying to get vision. But if you're just like standing there trying to get vision, you're letting MF push mid, you're letting Dr. Mundo push top. So they will look like an engage onto the Mundo. Mundo does R. Um, it's minion blocked, really good minion block, really good ultimates from Sejuani and Ornn. But he is level 17, right? So he's taking a lot of damage, and that his ultimate is like really putting in the work here. Sejuani ultimate, really good stun. MF ult does get laid down. I mean, they take damage, but it doesn't really kill anyone. So shutdown goes over to Sejuani. Not ideal because like your Jinx is right there. That shutdown will put her right back into the game, but it is a shutdown nonetheless. However, Vel'Koz is caught out in mid with Danami, MF, and Sinzao. So it is a 1-for-1. Um, Not ideal because like it's Mundo for Vel'Koz. Vel'Koz is half your damage basically, especially in a team fight scenario. Like yes, there's really nothing up that requires it, but it's still downtime on the Vel'Koz. Um, However, this will let UNH pick up top tier 1 as well as the bounty gold. So they have a really good wave pushing here. So they just have to be careful of like where southern Alberta is. MF was mid, is now gone. Nami spotted top, so we can assume that like Zenzao might be top. Anivia, we have no idea where she is. Um, so it looks like they'll back out. They got the top tier 1. They pushed some waves. Zenzao is now just barely. Zenzao does take the teleporter out. One instance of damage would have stopped that. But Southern Alberta does have 4 top. They have MF, Nami, Zenzao, and Mundo, so they have to be careful. Crazy damage from the MF bounce from the Sejuani onto the Jenna. Does half her health through shield. Ornn TPs. It looks like they're gonna call for Baron. They have to be careful. Jenna is half health. Like Ornn ultimate is committed. Uh, it is whiffed again. Um, Nami does flash out. Vel'Koz picks up a kill on the Nami. Really solid start. MF ult is laid down. Doesn't really hit anyone. Janna is just trying to like peel for people. The ultimate doesn't. I mean, it heals people, but Sejuani falls to MF. MF gets collected, or Sejuani gets collected. Anivia picks up a kill onto Janna, and then Ornn and Jinx do fall shortly after. Minions pick up a, I believe it's bot tier 1, tier 2 as Southern Alberta picks up an ace. Um, I saw the vision, right? I saw the vision, but that I hate to go back to it, but that Ornn whiff, like the Ornn ultimate whiff, it's crucial for these team fights. If that misses, you just disengage, right? You can't do anything if that misses. If that misses, you just lose half your engage power. Sejuani alone can't really do it. Like that Ornn ultimate has to be that follow up with that initial engage. So it looks like Southern Alberta will barrel down onto UNH's Nexus and pick up the win for game 1. Um, a little unfortunate, like that Baron fight was the end of it. But UNH had a strong start, right? Like they just let the little things pile up until it's inevitable. But really solid performance from UNH in this first game. I believe it's a best of three, so we'll be back with game two shortly. Alrighty, welcome back everyone to game two of University of New Haven's JV LOL against Southern Alberta, and we're back into the bans. So it looks like UNH. Um, First two bans is Leona Nami, really targeting that support. That Nami from last game um, might not have been the most oppressive, but she certainly was everywhere on the map. Southern Alberta basically banning the same things from game one. Um, Briar, Yone. And I think that's Pantheon. It might be Warwick. I don't know. But UNH picks up MF, so it looks like they're going to take the MF pick from Alberta. And then Southern Alberta locks in Gwen Amumu. That's certainly a pick. I mean, locking in Gwen right here, it does like secure your tank buster in top lane if UNH decides to play a tank. But you can see we're hovering Gnar, right? So Gnar is ranged for the most part. I mean, he does become like a pseudo bruiser tank when he gets mega form, but Gwen's not really doing much into Gnar, so like I wonder if it's like it can't be a Gwen jungle because you have a Mumu, unless if a Mumu's going support. So like a Mumu brand bot lane with Gwen jungle. Um, I don't know about that one, Chief. But Southern Alberta finishes up the bans with a Mordekaiser Jace ban, UNH bans the Hui Aurora again. So relatively the same bans. Um, so Southern Alberta locks in Draven. So we might see like a Draven Amumu lane, uh, or even a Draven brand. Um, UNH goes back to like their comfort picks. Like we have a Vigar mid, Sejuani jungle again. Sejuani was really good last game. And it's a Nautilus. So Soraka MF into Nautilus uh, Draven. Um, you have like UNH has to be careful. Uh, Draven can easily like run away with the game, and especially with the Nautilus. Like you have that Nautilus as that like what is it called? Not buffer, but like it allows an amplifier, right? So Nautilus amplifies Draven's ability to like attack in lane and just his presence in lane alone. So Soraka is a good answer into it. Like you just have to be careful. You have to stand behind the minion wave, and like when Nautilus queues forward for the hook, you just Soraka Q, right? So you get your healing and you get your little move speed. Um, so it's a little scary. Like I would be scared in the bot lane a little bit, uh, just because Draven can be so oppressive. In jungle, it's so okay. It is a Mumu jungle. It is a first pick Gwen mid or Gwen top is kind of crazy. I don't think I don't that's I don't think I've seen it before. But it's a brand jung or brand mid lane. You don't see it too often, just because brand is usually played in like support nowadays or even jungle if he's buffed into it. But is into a Vigar, so Vigar can really just like sit back and just farm, scale up with his passive. There's really no agency on Vigar. The agency is on Brand to do something before Vigar scales hard enough. And that will be just through Brand damage. Like his base damage, his base numbers are just on the higher end, more so than Vigar's. But his scale, like he also scales really well though. Uh, so they have to be careful with Brand, especially if they're gonna like group up and stick together. I'm curious to see how this top lane is gonna play out. Jace, it is Jace Bond, so there was a swap of top laners for JV. Jace Bond is very comfortable on Gnar, especially into Gwen. Like if you've seen Varsity's uh, game, I believe it was last week, Jace Bond blew it away with Gnar into Gwen. I really gave no opportunity for the Gwen to do anything. So we'll see if that's a repeat. Um, but overall, like we're just back to like this is early game, folks. Like it's unfortunately it's a lot of farming, not a much action. The most action is going to come from bot lane because they do have that Nautilus. As it looks like Nautilus did hook the Soraka, um, and first blood goes over to Draven, Southern Alberta with I believe 2 minutes. So it's a very quick first blood. You have to be careful. Like you can't just shove wave, and I think that's what happened. UNH pushed wave because like MF does push waves pretty quickly, right? Her love tap on her passive does extra bonus damage. And if she's queuing the wave, it does damage to the back minions. So you have to be careful because if you're sitting in front of the enemy's turret and Nautilus hooks you, well, you're hooked. You're taking a couple turret shots, and then you have Draven right there just ready to gun you down. So you have to be careful. As the Nautilus looks like he steps forward, Soraka forced to flash out. We'll see. We'll see if like if anything comes of it. I think UNH is out. MF like almost no mana at all. Um, MF is like more like a spell, not a spell caster, but she like weaves spells into her attacks. Like you have your auto Q auto, um, as well as your ultimate and W. So Amumu spots the Sejuani over the wall, tries to get the scuttle. Sejuani does pick up the scuttle. Amumu does stun Sejuani as it looks like they're gonna fight it. Bran does run down, picks up a kill onto the Sejuani. A very rocky start. Vigar trying to get something back, forced to flash out with the Amumu Q. Uh, Not ideal. Like in that instance, you just said, "Hey, Sejuani died. There's nothing I can do. Let me just not even engage with it." Gnar forced to flash out as well, dodging that max Gwen Q. That final snip does a lot of damage. Um, it is a rocky start for UNH, right? It's not as strong as the first game. Of course, it is like different champions, it's different scenarios going on, and a different game, like different play styles. Um, you have to like learn to adapt with it. Gnar does fall to Gwen at topside. It looks like under turret. Maybe Gnar was going for a final kill, and Gwen hit the level up. Amumu is spotted Sejuani. Sejuani does pick up double scuttle, so that does put a damper on things for Southern Alberta. Of course, we really like double scuttle. Gives vision, um, both bot and top, as well as like more uh, movement move speed throughout the jungle, like if you're gonna gank from mid to top and stuff like that. Dragon in 10 seconds, we'll see which dragon it is. Okay, it's another cloud drake. So not not the most like urgency when it comes to taking this drake. Like you can leave it for a while. Grub's about in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. That'll be like where the real fight is. It looks like Sejuani, they're going to look for something onto this brand. Sejuani's presence alone pushes the brand out of lane. As Vigar hits level 6, Amumu now responds to it. Um, Nautilus spotted on Drake, warding it up. There's a control ward in Dragon Pit. We'll see if Sejuani is there. MF pings to look mid, so they might do a play topside. Gnar falls to Gwen again. Brand caught in the cage, does R almost immediately. Sejuani picks up a kill onto the Brand. Um, a good play, like a good call. I don't think you needed to send MF and Soraka to mid because you can see you have Draven and Nautilus just getting plates bot side, right? You're missing that wave that's pushing in. Gold and EXP are almost more valuable than just a kill in mid lane. So now they're caught out. Amumu lands a Q onto the Soraka. Soraka puts the silence down, does root the Amumu. Nautilus does miss the Q and hits the wall. Um, and he flashes forward to root the Soraka. Soraka does fall to Draven. Dragon is now out of the picture for UNH. For those unaware, Nautilus hook has like two different ranges. It's a pretty wide skill shot with the hook. The outer area hits uh, champions. It locks on the champions. The inner one targets terrain, so that's probably why Nautilus Q got hit by the terrain. It saved Soraka for a minute though, but unfortunately she did fall because Nautilus forced the flash. Grubs in a minute. Um, Brand is pushed out of mid lane. Amumu is taking bot scuttle, it seems, so Vigar has to be careful, right? This Amumu has been everywhere so far and hasn't landed the Qs. Like, I don't think they've missed a Q outside of uh, UNH flashing away for it, so they have to be careful. Teshwani being the local frog population once again. A little unfortunate, because, like, what did the frog ever do to you? But it's a necessary evil. As we wait for objectives to spawn and stuff, like 20 seconds on the grubs. Bot lane is looking a little scary. Soraka falls for the third time or the fourth time, I believe. MF preemptively flashes out, maybe to avoid a Nautilus Q. But this Draven is just farming kills. So this is like the exact scenario that you ideally don't want to happen. Like Draven snowballs very, very quickly off of a couple of kills, and Soraka can't fall behind. Like if Soraka is behind, she does, yes, she does have a lot of healing and everything. Um, but it's very hard for her to stay relevant in turn, like late into like in team fights and stuff because you're so far behind. So they have to be they have to be mindful of how these deaths are affecting the future of this game. Vigar almost dead in mid lane. Brand backs off, and it looks like he will live to see another day. MF and Soraka have pushed the wave, and the wave is now just sitting in front of Alberta's uh, tower. Gwen picks up another kill onto this Gnar. So I might have jinxed top lane a little bit uh, by talking about it. Um, but so far it's not looking. I'm gonna be honest, it's not looking good. They have two hyper carries, both with shutdowns, both with like fed kills. Um, and unfortunately, there's not much this Sejuani can do. Like there's oh, really good call from Sejuani, really good read. Um, Sejuani picks up a kill onto the Gwen in top side, gets the shutdown, gets that gold, and offers Gnar a little bit of time. You can push that wave um, under tower and make Gwen lose some of her gold. MF took a pretty big chunk in the bot lane, trying to farm or trade. Soraka, of course, just heals it right back up. She does a lot of healing. It looks like Draven is going Collector first. Usually it's either Collector or it's Bloodthirster. I think Bloodthirster is like the main build path nowadays. Uh, don't come for me. I don't really play Draven. But a BF sword item to start is really strong. MF is out of mana. She doesn't really she yes, yeah. Unfortunately, that's just like the case. Um, with champions like MF and stuff like that, you have to conserve your mana. Yes, you do want to use it, but you have a lot of semi escape tools linked to your mana, like your W move speed. As Brand is caged, Sejuani picks up another kill. This Brand dies again. Unfortunately, Vigar did fall, but Sejuani is collecting these kills. She's getting some gold. Really good itemization start from Sejuani. Picked up the Hallowed Radiance. It's like the magic version of Sunfire. Southern Alberta does have 4 magic champions. Top, top mid, support, and jungle. As it looks like they're gonna go for a gank onto this Draven. Sejuani ultimate is up. But I don't know if Draven has flash. Looks like they're not gonna commit to it. But Amumu is here. And lands a Q onto the Soraka. Soraka does pop. A TP committed from Vigar into bot side. Sejuani ultimate is not here. Nautilus gets caged, walks right into the cage, as it looks like nothing else is gonna happen. And see, unfortunately, MF didn't have enough mana for the ult, right? So even just ulting there would have turned the tides of that fight. So it's a little not not sad or anything, but it's a little unfortunate that things played out the way that they did because it could have been a really strong turning point for UNH in this fight. Vigar spotted out in River, walking over Scuttle. So Bran is now just here. He has to be careful. He did get caged, so there is like little zoning tool for Vigar. As it looks like nothing's gonna really come of it, so Vigar will just make his way back to lane. Nara is about to have health in topside. Gwen has just been really impressive this lane, and Nar hasn't really found his footing, especially in the early game. So he goes mega. We'll see. He does jump in onto the Gwen. It's a choice. Um, Gwen does pick up another kill onto the Nar. Um, it, at this instance, you like fighting. Yes, like you can fight. You can try and get a kill onto the to the Gwen, but your ultimate goal in this scenario would to be die less, right? Giving kills over to Gwen is not is helping the situation. Brand ultimate or ults UNH as it just ticks away in the bots in their backside. Um, so Amumu will hopefully uh, Amumu does fall. MF does pick up with kills. Sejuani is ticking. Draven just collects it, as well as the MF for a triple kill. So saw the vision, um, but ultimately, like the vision wasn't clear. Um, you had Gnar just coming off of a respawn from topside. Your like bot and mid and jungle weren't really all on the same page. I mean, they were, but you're just walking blindly into Dragon Pit with the river. So there's no real vision, which allowed the brand to just ultimate, throw his ult onto everyone and just burn and take it away. So to make these like risky plays like this, they require a lot more setup, especially for vision. Um, and sometimes these plays don't even need to happen, right? If it's like an unfavorable matchup, you can just go push waves. Like you can go push lanes, take the pressure elsewhere, try and get something back for it. Uh, yes, you could think of it as like, hey, let's go in. Let's try and make the most of it. Like we're already behind. What's a little bit more behind? And in that aspect, yes, like high risk, high reward type scenarios that can work. But again, it is high risk. So like you risk like putting yourself even further behind. And unfortunately, that's just what happened. Sejuani looks for something onto the brand. Brand just walks out. She does get to collect the control ward. It is a good collection. Nar falls again in topside. Gwen did use flash, and I believe it was an Amumu gank. Um, but still, unfortunately, like that is another death. Sejuani just trying to do what she can do. A nice, good MF poke onto the Draven using the backline. Looks like they're gonna think of a mid lane gank. She is not on vision, the Sejuani, so there could be an angle here. Vigar does get stunned by the brand. Brand passive is ticking. Sejuani is now on her way. Vigar forced to flash out so to not take damage from the W, because I think that would kill. Brand just walks out, probably seeing the Sejuani somewhere in the river or just like intellect, like a sixth sense almost. Um, so they're gonna try and get this tower. I mean, you don't have a wave here. You can't really look. Looks like the Sejuani is just there to secure the tower plate and gold for Vigar, which is nice. Um, Vigar is like your currently at the moment your best carry. Um, as Nar is looking for something, but like you're six deaths down. Does get to pick up a kill with the ignite onto the Nautilus. It is something there. Um, so getting back something. It's what we like to see. As UNH starts the Rift Herald, it is a little risky. Like, I mean, they do have 4 people here, but then Southern Alberta also has 4 people here, and 2 of those people have shutdowns and are currently like when kill streaking. So Amumu Amumu goes in. Gwen jumps onto the Soraka and does ultimate. It ultimately is a 4 for 0 here, but UNH does secure the Rift Herald. Sejuani does pick it up. Um, a lot of ultimates from the side of Southern Alberta. I believe it was a Mumu ult, Gwen ult, Draven ult, maybe Nautilus ult. Um, I don't think dying, 4 people dying in that scenario for a Rift Herald that can get you like 1 tower or maybe even like 2 at most, 1.5 towers. Um, yeah, you really have to think, was it a worthwhile trade? In the grand scheme of things, I don't think it was, right? We'll see. I believe second dragon, third dragon is about to hit the rift in 10 seconds. There's a bug just flew on me. What the hell? Oh, excuse me. Um, but we'll see how they respond to it. Nautilus already spotted in Dragon Pit. Draven spotted mid, Brand spotted bot. So there's 2 missing factors here, right? Amumu, okay, so now they're not missing anymore. Amumu is mid crossing into bot side river. Gwen is just pushing top. So there's no one to answer Gwen. Gwen in this instance can just pick up inhibitor turret and topside, and maybe even inhibitor. Like there's really no one who can fight her. You have to go at her with like at least 3 people. Just because in the state that she's so far ahead. Nar decides to answer her. She does have tower, but he does jump in. Like you're you're not a mega Nar into a Gwen who is currently, I believe, like level 15, 7-1. So Nar does fall. Unfortunately, it is a waste of like resources there. As Amumu flashes ults, gets 4 people, Brand ult on top. MF ult tries to salvage something. Unfortunately, doesn't pick up anyone. As Brand picks up a triple kill. Southern Alberta will pick up third Drake of the game, and Gwen is just barreling down into their their base. Gwen picks up inhibitor, um, and is just now hitting Nexus turrets. So it's I'm almost at a loss for words here a little bit because like a lot of this stuff could have been avoided. Um, but I mean, UNH does pick up a kill back onto the Gwen. They do get a kill. I believe it's a shutdown. Uh, Alberta does get, I believe that's what, tier 2 mid turret for it. Baron up in 13 seconds. So we'll see if Alberta goes for it. I mean, it looks like UNH are prepping for it. They don't have any vision of Barons. They have to like go in with 5. Gwen can't be here because she's dead. Brand can be here though. He is spotted out in mid lane. He does have ultimate now. As Vigar gets chunked out, a simple WE from Brand, half health Vigar. So this Brand is very scary, especially since they group up a lot. His passive and his ultimate will just be bouncing from everyone. Draven does a lot of damage too. He's 11-0, 3-item Draven, Collector, IE, and LDR. As it looks like Amumu is clearing vision in Baron Pit. Nar TP's bot to answer Gwen. Not the best choice of TP because you have your team just like dying in mid lane. Um, and then that allows Southern Alberta just to pick up Baron for free. Nar will most likely fall here. Gwen is level 16. She's like 8-2. Um, and her ultimate is like very strong. Um, so like it New Haven is just kind of like their foundation has crumbled, right? They're just trying to do everything they can to salvage this, but like individual acts alone aren't gonna save this. It has to be like a coordinated strike. They have Vigar falls in mid, with no one around, so unfortunately, I think UNH are just like at a loss of what to do here. They have like double siege minions topside, pushing in. Their inhibitor is down. They have Southern Alberta just barreling down on their mid lane. Sejuani gets a stun onto the brand, does really good engage by Sejuani. Emma picks up a shutdown. Sejuani picks up a shutdown on or a kill onto the Nautilus. Amumu goes in, does get the stun. Rift Herald is popped because of time expiration. Uh, Sejuani picks up a double kill for Southern Alberta, or for UNH on Southern Alberta. Get like a double shutdown from the Brand and the Draven, and we'll crash Rift Herald. Gwen is here. She does ult. They have to be careful. Like Gwen flashes forward, gets a kill onto the MF with ult number 2. Um, Rift Herald does crash. Tower doesn't fall, unfortunately. Uh, Gnar forced to recall, just can't really continue with that fight, can't sustain it. As Sejuani will pick up red buff. Um, Recapping that fight a little bit, really good call from UNH to go there, right? You have that Sejuani pressure. Um, that engagement from Sejuani was what they needed in that instance. Southern Alberta almost got a little too cocky there, overstepped where they really shouldn't have. They were probably feeling a little too comfortable. Uh, but like while UNH might be behind a little bit, they have the damage. Like Vigar has been scaling this whole time. MF ult just does damage. Like it's a really good wide AoE spell. So it allowed them to pick up a triple kill there. Sejuani, like they do see Gwen on Sejuani's blue, so that blue is most likely gone, unfortunately. But we'll see. Have to be careful. Gwen could still be here. Gwen now hitting frogs too. Um, Sejuani tries to smite it, might 18 health. Like you hate to see it. As Gwen will just pick up the auto. Excuse me. All right, soul point in 10 seconds. It is Infernal Soul. That's gonna be really hard um, to deal with for UNH, especially with Brand. Soraka gets hooked and caught out by Southern Alberta and does fall. So unfortunately, Soraka won't be here for this fight. I believe they have to give soul point, right? They have Gwen just barreling down into their base, and she is level 18 with I believe 3.5, 4 items, so she can just take the base. Like magic, people who do magic damage take turrets a lot faster than AD, especially if you scale high enough, just because there's like no magic resistance for towers. Um, Southern Alberta does pick up the Infernal Soul. So those Draven autos, those brand combos, really gonna hurt. Just because it is like an extra like 250 damage on top of it. And of course, that does scale with their stats. Brand does get stunned by a Vigar Cage, and MF lays down her ult. However, he does flash out. Says Shwani could be caught out by Gwen, does dash out, playing that do not engage uh, play with Gwen. Gwen's gonna take the Krugs. Unfortunately, Sejuani is like a little bit homeless inside of her own jungle. All of her camps are getting either taken away by Southern Alberta, or they're just not respawning yet. It looks like Gwen is going to go for this bot side inhibitor turret. Um, MF does pick up the wave, but there's really no vision in bot side. Like, I mean, there is no objectives in bot side, so they don't really need to commit vision there. But what little vision they do have in top side, um, they got protected. I mean, they did see Nautilus walk into their blue, so they can assume that this place is warded. But there's no sweepers up. There's no like control wards for the side of UNH. Like for even if anyone has a little extra gold, just buy a control ward. It looks like Draven is flanking mid lane. Vanguard just pick up a kill onto the Nautilus. That stops their engage a little bit for Southern um, Alberta. Brand does go in. Brand does fall to Gnar. Vanguard Cage does stun. Crazy damage onto that Draven. That was 1W. Unfortunately, he doesn't have R because I think Vanguard R'd earlier. Gwen picks up bot side inhibitor turret as well as the inhibitor. Top side waves are also they need to abandon this. Like UNH can just abandon this. Like your tower your base is getting destroyed by Gwen with 3 siege minion waves. As Gwen just picks up double Nexus turrets and will just hit the wave. MF is just kind of powerless to stop this. And unfortunately, this is how it ends. Like Southern Alberta picks up a 2-0 onto UNH. Um, Valiant attempt by UNH. Um, Not like they had the plays there, like they had the opportunities. Unfortunately, it just fell through their hands. So we all have these games, right? It's not the end of the world, um, and like fairly early in their season, so it's nothing to be worried about. Like this is just a learning experience as well. Um, but overall, like a solid performance, I would say, from UNH. Just getting like their competitive muscles flexed for future weeks. So thank you all for watching. I believe this is the last game because I think it's a best of 3. Um, but yeah, we'll catch you next week for I believe their third game of the season.